Hello, everyone, and good morning. My name's Don Arleth, and you're watching World News, coming to you live from Warsaw. We start off this morning with the war in Ukraine crossing the Polish border. An unknown number of Russian drones entered Polish airspace late last night. The Air Force scrambled fighter jets and put air defense on its highest alert. For the first time since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, the drones that crossed into Poland were tracked by Polish and NATO air assets, and some were engaged and shot down. A meeting of the National Security Council is currently underway.
Polish and NATO fighters were deployed after the country's military command said Polish airspace was repeatedly violated by drone-type objects during the Russian attack across the border in Ukraine.
An operation is underway aimed at identifying and neutralizing the objects. On the orders of the operational commander of the Polish Armed Forces, weapons have been deployed and services are actively working to locate the downed objects.
It said the military operation was ongoing and urged people to stay at home, naming the Podlaskie, Mazowieckie and Lubelskie provinces as the most at risk. Poland also closed 4 airports, including its main Chopin airport in Warsaw, according to the US Federal Aviation Administration. There was no official confirmation from Polish authorities that any airports have been closed. Poland's Prime Minister Donald Tusk has spoken with NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte.
An operation is underway related to multiple violations of Polish airspace. The military used armaments against the objects. I am in constant contact with the President and the Minister of Defense. I received a direct report from the operational commander.
Poland has been on high alert for objects entering its airspace since a stray Ukrainian missile struck a southern Polish village in 2022, killing 2 people. But there have been no reports of Polish or Allied defense systems destroying drones. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has reportedly also been informed of the developments.
And now please be advised that Warsaw's Chopin Airport has reopened after being closed down. However, due to restrictions and the closure of multiple airspaces here in Poland, difficulties and delays are expected and may last throughout the day. Now let's go to, these are live pictures that you're seeing on your screen there at the Prime Minister's Chancellery, where they're just about to have a very important meeting with the cabinet, of course, of Prime Minister Donald Tusk. They will be discussing, of course, this latest incident of Russian drones crossing into Poland. We still don't know exactly how many came into Poland, how many were shot down. We're still waiting for those details. And of course, we will provide them to you as soon as they come in to us. Now, the Ukrainian Air Force reported earlier on Wednesday that Russian missiles and drones had been fired at numerous cities across the country, and an air raid alert was also declared across the country. Our correspondent Oz Chatterjee is in Kyiv. Good morning, Oz. So what more do we know about this attack, at least from where you're sitting there in Kyiv?
Well, while we await news from this extraordinary meeting of the Polish cabinet, the Ukrainians are still assessing the impact of last night's attack. We still don't have the full details of how many drones and missiles were launched onto Ukrainian territory. What we do know so far is that the Ukrainian Air Force warned the Polish government that drones were heading towards the Polish territory at around 1:30 in the morning. Now, explosions were heard around the country, particularly in parts of the central and western parts of the country, including the capital Kyiv, but also Vinnytsia, Lutsk, Ivano-Frankivsk, Zhytomyr and Lviv, right on the Polish border. Now, we have already reports that 1 person was killed in Zhytomyr after Zhytomyr was targeted with drones and missiles. This comes a day after the country's defense minister, Denis Shmyhal, said Ukraine needed 10 new Patriot systems to help defend its skies. TVP World understands that the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry is now also using what has happened overnight to push for Western partners, European countries, to use their air assets to shoot down targets, drones that are traveling over Ukrainian territory now. This is becoming a situation that is happening with ever more frequency for Poland. Poland has been scrambling jets to deal with these attacks for many, many months now, hasn't used those jets to shoot anything down in that time. Now, this has happened. It's a major escalation. The Ukrainian Foreign Ministry will be pushing Western partners to help deal with the threats that are targeting Ukrainian cities, and now have, for the first time, moved significantly into Polish territory and forced the Polish military to come up with a response. So as we find out more details, particularly on how large last night's drone and missile attack was, we will be bringing you those details right here on TVP World. Back to you, Don.
All right, Oz Chatterjee reporting for us live there from Kyiv. Thank you for that. And now joining us, we're going to go to the west of the country. It seems that these attacks have focused more on the west of Ukraine, and of course those drones crossing into Polish airspace. We're now joined by Piotr Kaszuwara. He's president of UA Future Foundation, and he's in Lviv. Now, good morning, Piotr. I'm sure you didn't sleep very much last night. I was awakened as well with news of this incident in the middle of the night. So you're in Lviv. What was the night like for you where you are?
It's very good morning because we are alive. I'm alive, and it wasn't sure in the night, unfortunately. I just woke up a couple of minutes ago because I had a very short sleep this night, because most of the night I spent in the corridor with my bulletproof jacket and helmet and the first aid kit together with me, because I didn't know what can happen. It was very unusual night in Lviv, very typical, unfortunately, night for whole Ukraine, because the drones, Shahed drones and rockets are attacking Ukraine almost every night since couple of months, couple of years. In that huge amount, we can say couple of months, because we see every night hundreds of drones, from 200 to 800 just 2 nights ago, trying to kill people, destroy as much as it's possible all over Ukraine. But Lviv, until now, it's weird to say it, but until now, Lviv was more or less calm and safe. Time to time, the Russian rockets have been targeting this western city as well, but we have never seen that many drones all over the city as in the last night, as during the last night. I don't know how many exactly of these drones, of those drones, have been targeting Lviv, but I have heard at least 5 to 6 explosions, and also the Ukrainian air defense working very hard for a couple of hours. So it was few hours from 1 o'clock in Poland, more or less, to 4:30 o'clock in the morning. We haven't been sleeping. I have seen my neighbors covering, hiding in the gates between the buildings, because why Lviv is different than Kyiv. Lviv is very old town. Most of the buildings in Lviv are hundreds years old. They are not that strong as the new constructions, for example, in Kyiv, that can protect you from this kind of drone. Any of this building will survive the drone attack, because Russian drone, Shahed drone, it calls Geranium 2 right now, and is fully produced by Russia already, can handle about 100 kilograms of the explosions. And these drones are targeted, are constructed to destroy buildings, to kill as much people as is possible. More and more, they have artificial intelligence as well inside, so they can avoid, for example, air defense of the country. So this is very serious situation, what happened last night. Very serious for Ukraine as well, because we see that Russia is attacking more and more on the western part of the country, but this is also very serious for the NATO and for Poland, because we can suggest, we can think that Russia is trying to see what will happen and how the Article 5 will be used by the NATO forces.
Right. Now, Piotr, do you think that this was, because we've seen a lot of instances of this happening before, I mean, maybe not on this scale all at once, do you think this could have been a deliberate action by Russia to indeed test Polish defenses, see what the response is? This is also, I would like to remind our viewers, this is the first time that the Polish Air Force has shot down any of these drones that have crossed into Polish airspace after many incidents of violations.
Yes, Poland never did it before, and obviously Russia would love to know how our air defense is working, and that was one of the main arguments coming from Poland, and saying why Poland is not shooting down rockets or drones, because it already happened a few times in the past, but not that many drones. That many drones never crossed our border. We are facing the Russia-Belarus training very soon, Zapad. They will try to test cooperation between their two armies, and we need to finally notice that drones changed this war very much. Most of the deaths that we see at the front line since many months, these are the deaths coming from the drones, FPV drones, first-person view drones, and also from the Shahed drones. I remember 2 years ago, Russians could hit to Ukraine about 20 drones, and it was already very much.
Yep.
And now we hear about 800. So this machine, the war machine, is developing, unfortunately.
Yep. All right, Piotr. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Piotr Kaszuwara, president of UA Future Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you get some sleep, and we'll try and check in with you again later. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now, Poland is set to receive nearly 44 billion euros in defense loans from the European Commission starting in November. That's the overall aim, to ramp up the Polish armed forces' capabilities and bolster Poland's eastern border fortifications with Belarus. Our EU correspondent Angela Skujins is joining us now. Let's see. Has more from Strasbourg, actually, so let's see her report.
Poland is set to receive billions of euros to bolster its borders as well as boost the weaponry of its soldiers. This is according to the European Commissioner for Defence, Andrius Kubilius, who announced on Tuesday that 15 member states were successful in their tentative applications for a 150 billion euro pool of cash known as SAFE. Now, the SAFE defence spending program aims to support member states in their purchasing as well as acquirement of military capabilities. We're talking about weaponry as well as infrastructure. Now, according to that top EU Brussels brass, Poland is set to receive 43.7 billion euros. We heard Andrius Kubilius, that defence commissioner, reiterate the importance of Poland's eastern shield. This is the 700-kilometre or so border that Poland shares with Belarus.
There are big European, projects of common interest, like air and missile defence system or Eastern Border Defence Shield, or whatever it will be called. Somebody is calling that Eastern Shield. We just travelled with Commission presidents through all the countries, and we saw how important it is to develop such kind of common project, because those countries will need to defend not only themselves, but they will defend all all European Union.
TVP World spoke to Polish MEP Michał Czerba, who reiterated that this money should be used to provide the most state-of-the-art weapons to Polish soldiers, as well as fortifying Poland's eastern flank.
We also expect, unfortunately, some other provocations coming from Russians. We have to be ready. We have to also to create a very good anti-drones systems, and safe money will be used for this purpose.
Member states that have applied for this pool of cash, the 15 in question, will need to lodge formal applications by November. Then the Commission will give an update on the situation before all of the 27 EU member states go to a vote and decide whether this money should be used in the matter allocated. If all goes according to plan, the money should start flowing as early as February. Angela Skujins from Strasbourg for TVP World.
And now we return to live images from the Prime Minister's Chancellery there as this very important meeting is about to get underway. Of course, I want to remind our viewers, overnight we had multiple drones cross into Polish airspace, violating Polish airspace. NATO and Polish jets were scrambled and actually engaged in the targets, at least some of them, shooting some of those drones down. We have very many questions this morning. The National Security Bureau meeting has already convened. Now we're looking at the Prime Minister's Chancellery there and his cabinet of ministers who are about to meet. Of course, we've got a lot of questions here. Exactly how many drones came into Poland? Was this a provocation by Russia? Will Article 5 consultations be called? Big day here in Poland, so stay tuned for more here on TVP World. That's all for now. Thanks for joining us, and absolutely stay tuned for more here on TVP World.